Hey guys, Ron here. I just wanted to tell you how headlines will actually be repurposed in many ways and solve many things for you. I got a little bit of sun here on my screen, so it's a little bit hard to tell who's joining here. Sorry about that, but here's the deal. When you're posting headlines on opt-in pages to collect email addresses, you're using headlines on Facebook. Those are just a couple examples I'd like to use in this scope. You're going to get the right targeted people with the headlines and save years of your time by using the right headline to get the right people. Art Novino, good to see you. Get the right people into your opt-in email list, okay? So just take that as step one. The other thing is when you're on Facebook, what happens is when your page starts to get larger into the thousands, if you have the right headlines, what happens is people will not only more likely to share them, they're more likely to click on them, which will get them to go more viral, which will get you to go from 5% reach up to 100% reach. When you get to a higher reach, you have a higher likelihood of reaching a higher audience because of the clicks on the good headline, which then gives you a better opportunity to get more shares. So I'll give you an example. Real estate agent has an email list, and he's had an email list of 1,000 people for 6 months. They've been following him and stuff, and he sends out an email that says he has their names and phone numbers in the email list because he's been doing it for a while, and he met them at networking events. He got their permission to get them on the email list. He's got their business cards. Some of them don't have business cards because they're not business people. Point is, he's got their name and their phone numbers. They're in the database. He's using Constant Contact. He's using Aweber. He's using GetResponse. He's using any of those email service providers, whitelist email providers. Okay, so now imagine that he sends out an email to those guys. But his email doesn't just say 3 tips on why buying a home this year is a good idea. That's a very soft email that anybody would open. And what he's really looking for is people in the decision process. So the headline would read something like, just logged on listening. Great. Okay, so so I'm fast forwarding to the email part, okay? So the email part is somebody's opening an email, okay?
How you doing?
Hi, good, how are you?
You got $1 to spare?
I don't, no, sorry. So somebody opens an email and, excuse me for a second here. Somebody opens your email, but you want to be very specific on your headline on what that email is, okay? So the email might read something like 3 questions to ask an agent right before you look at houses. 3 questions to ask a mortgage broker before you get pre-approved. 3 things stopping you from getting pre-approved for a mortgage. These are questions that people are thinking right before they're ready to make a decision to work with a mortgage broker, to work with a real estate agent, and so forth. And so what happens is when you track the people that open those emails, again, you have their phone numbers. So now you're going to go into your stats and you're going to export the list of the people, the names and the phone numbers of the people that actually open those emails. And you might have 100 people that open emails, 50 people that open the emails. So then you can call those people, right? You can call those people. I am not a realtor. I had a broker's license for about 12 or 13 years. I've helped realtors with marketing and stuff before in the past. And so this is just a way where you can save people a lot of time. So think of it that way. 3 questions you would ask. You can even get more specific than that. 3 questions to ask your mortgage broker this week, or 3 questions to ask your mortgage broker by next Friday. The more specific you are on the timeline, and you're not 27 hip to have a mortgage broker this year. That's somebody that's still in the beginning of the process. You'd be looking for something more like the final 3 questions before getting pre-approved. And then you'd take those people, track the people that open the email. You'd have their names and their phone numbers, and you could call them back and just say, hey, I noticed you opened the email, and I'm just following up with you, see if you have some questions about such and such. Now, what you could run into is you could have 50 people that open the email and be like, yeah, I wasn't really ready to make a decision yet. Thanks for calling back. Maybe call back in a couple months. If you call back 10 or 15 people and they're like that, then those leads were probably too cold. And you either have to email them for a longer period of time, or you have to be better with your headline, or what you can do, and it's depending. I mean, if you have an admin in the office could call those people at $8 to $10 an hour. If your time is worth $50 to $200 an hour, that's not going to be a great use of your time. But here's the other thing you can do is you can have that headline, and then you can have some copy that's really good with some subheadings, and then after all the subheadings and more copy, just say it's this much copy, paragraph or two, then you have a link that says, sure, would like to talk with you. Hey, I think the link could say something like, hey, I'm in, I'd like to know those answers by phone. And then you could take the 6 or 7 people that click that link and then find out your stats and constant contact, get response, AWeber. Find the 6 or 7 people that click the link, and then what you're going to do is call those people, and then those are going to be much hotter leads. See, people are right now, they're too concerned about how do I get 1,000 leads and how do I get 500 leads. You don't want 500 or 1,000 leads. That's not the challenging part. The challenging part is the 80-20 your time with headlines. So if you need to use one headline to get people on an email list, another headline to filter them more to who opens the email, and then another headline or another sub-headline or two to narrow it down. So you get your 1,000 people on the email list, get 10% of the people, get 10% of the people to open it, and then get another 1% of those, of the total 1,000 people, to actually click the link after they've read some stuff. Now they've filtered it because your time is valuable, and you have to think that way from the beginning for it to be true in the long run. So the thing is if you just say, well, I'm a realtor and I don't have any business, I don't make any money, so I have nothing but time on my hands. Well, that's not true. Thanks for the hearts. That's not true. I mean, if you don't start from the beginning with the mindset that your time is very valuable, you'll never get to a place where your time is very valuable. You'll just always, it's just like at the gym, it's like practicing the wrong form. You have to practice the right form from the beginning. For when you're going to be big, like Michael Gerber says, you have to practice the systems and the leads the right way in the beginning, because you're going to be scaling, so you need to make sure you're doing it the right way. So you're going to have the right headline for the opt-in page, you're going to get the people on the email list, and then you're going to have subheads that they can read through and then click on a link, and it might say something like, yes, I'm ready to talk to somebody by phone, or yes, I have one last question. The link can say whatever you want it to say to filter them out, and then you're going to go back into your get response or your AWeber or any of those autoresponder email whitelist programs, and you're going to call those people back. So in the beginning, when you have an opt-in page, you need their name and their phone number. You're going to call them back, you're going to text them back, you're going to call them back and see if you can answer their questions. And the worst case scenario is you might get a couple unsubscribes, but the other worst case scenario is that they're just too cold of leads, where they're just not worth your time. So you just get better at headlines. You have more copy in your email before the link. You filter it out even more, or you just email them for more weeks or more months before you decide to call them back. Either way, most realtors and most people that network in life are networking with extremely cold prospects. They go to B2Bs, all these DNIs and all this other stuff. Those are really cold prospects. And just people off the street, these are much warmer prospects. And you're creating a funnel, a sales funnel, and a relationship funnel to do that. So that's just one example of how headlines can 80-20 your time. And then I would think that we're all on the same page here, that we've studied 80-20 a little bit. We've studied how being more efficient with your time would lead to more free time in your life and more money in your life. And that's the point of 80-20 in your life. But there's a lot of things that 80-20 in our lives: tools, systems, technology, cars, people. There's all kinds of things that 80-20 in our life. But I'm here to just tell you how in the world that we live in with social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, blogging, all this other stuff, there's so many things to keep you busy 24 hours a day, that I'm teaching you how all of them come together, and the overlap with all of them is the headline. The headline is where we have to get the click. We have to get the click to get more shares on social media. We have to get more reach on Facebook. We have to get the people off of Twitter. We have to get our blog post to rank so that we can get more clicks on our blog. We have to get opt-in email subscriptions. Without the click, you don't get the click without the headline being correct. So it can't be just something simple like 3 cool things that everyone needs to know in life. That's too general, and it's not good enough. You got to be always getting better at your headline skills. So I got more scopes coming up in the future. I'm going to go blog for a little bit for you guys. Ronor.com, RONOR.com. It's also my name here. If you swipe up to the left, to the right, up, everything, you'll see my name in here, Ronor.com. How headlines 80-20 your time is